All right, we're here with the crew from HawgHunters Bass Circuit tonight here at Make a Wake in Fort Smith, and we're going to talk about the upcoming season. And Joe, can you give us a little bit of history about the HawgHunters Bass Circuit?
Yeah. This thing started in 1973. It was a whirlpool club when it first started.
Okay.
And it's had a schedule every year since. It's a solo tournament, solo series. 7 events. Got to have 4 to qualify for the championship. It's a good circuit. It's been a good circuit for years. I've run it for a little over 20 years now. Been in it a long time. And I'm about to hand it off. And I'm going to go fishing.
There you go.
So that's where I'm at. I need to point at that one over there too.
Yeah.
So anyhow, but it's a good series. It's a great series. We for years we did just the solo series, and then we started having opens. We started out having an open in front of every tournament to kind of give the guys a chance to basically pre-fish for the solo series tournament. Got away from that the last few years. You know, we come up with a team series, and we run it for
2018 is when we started the team series.
18. And it just got to be too much.
Right.
Trying to run 2 different series, and you know, last year we had some schedule problems because of weather, and it stacked a bunch of stuff up, and it's just too much. We're going to go back to where we were. We're going to have a solo series, relatively inexpensive. It's going to pay very well for what you invest. We are going to have some open team tournaments.
Okay, good.
We are.
And they typically draw a lot of
We
anglers.
usually have some pretty good team tournaments.
I've seen the ramps.
We've had some good ones. I mean,
It's
they
a good one to
normally do draw.
showcase who the HawgHunters is. A lot
Yes.
of guys will use that open to come in and just see what we're about.
Gain a lot of members through the
Yes.
opens.
Absolutely.
A lot of members through the opens over the years, but we're going to take a step back, and we're going to try to, rather than divide ourselves between the 2 series, we're going to try to create one really good solo series. And it's been good in the past, but I really think this year we've got a chance of making it something really special.
Absolutely.
But anyhow, that's where we're at.
So going back, growing up, you know, being from the Fort Smith area,
Mhm.
HawgHunters is kind of been a dominant name,
Yes, it has.
especially bass fishing wise, and so now from that point, I mean, over the years, a lot's changed in fishing.
Yep.
I mean, not just technology, but baits and how organizations are ran. What's been some of the major issues that y'all ran into, or maybe not even issues, maybe some mountains that y'all had to climb to run a successful event?
Well, it's not by making everybody happy, I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
That's the truth.
You know, we've tried to please as many of the anglers as we can, and you're not ever going to make everybody happy, but I don't really know how to answer that, to be
Gotcha.
honest with you. I really
Because
don't.
no matter what, you're always fighting with permits.
Yeah,
Yes.
permits is
Permits
a
are
big issue.
It's going to dictate where you go, so you're constantly in that battle.
I mean, that starts in August. We started in August of 2025 getting permits ready for 2026 season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
we-
and it's
still can't get the ramps on the dates that we
No.
want.
Right.
There's so much going on nowadays, so many different series, and
And like we were just talking before we started recording, the weather.
Yeah.
The weather is
Good Lord.
it's you never know.
no. I mean, last year we didn't schedule a tournament in August, and then we ended up, because of all the weather delays and running 2 circuits, we fished every weekend in August, plus almost all of September, just to
Oh, you
try to
had-
get caught up.
you had what, 8 or 9 weeks in
yeah,
a row?
yeah.
Yeah, and of course that hurt us. You
Sure.
know, we lost the spring last year, basically, in this
Yeah.
club.
Right.
You know, one local bunch would have a tournament on a certain lake, and theirs went off fine, and ours was scheduled for the next week, and the next week, man, we had terrible weather, had an 8-inch rain, and
variables
high
you couldn't,
winds
couldn't
forecast,
yeah,
and there's no way you can safely do that.
absolutely.
And as much as it hurts us to have to postpone one, we hate that. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
last thing we want to do, the very last thing we want to do.
But y'all have always focused
But you
on,
have to,
yeah, on
have
safety.
to have safety first.
Safety
man.
first.
If it's,
The last thing we want to do is send somebody out and get hurt.
yeah,
Right.
can't
You'd
do
rather send
that.
someone home mad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't want to do that, but again, that's, fish another day.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I've been in tournaments before where guys were hurt. And, matter of fact, I was in one years ago where a man was killed from lightning.
Yeah.
I never considered that a problem until that day, and I'll guarantee you now, if I'm in a lightning storm, I'm going to the bank. And,
Yeah.
I've been there.
and
yeah.
and I'm not real sure that there's a lot of these guys that well, I'll just say it, they have enough sense to get on the bank in that situation.
Right. Yeah.
I've seen a man killed by that
Yeah.
in a bass tournament.
Changes
It
your
does
thought
happen.
process.
It'll sure change everything.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
I totally agree.
It absolutely will.
So with that, we're right here. I mean,
We're here.
February's, I'm sorry, March 7th
March 7th is our first event.
at
On
10
10
Killer.
Killer.
And so with that being said, I mean, there's no team events this year, correct?
No.
Move solo
Well.
to a solo series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, there will be some open
opens.
team tournaments.
Correct.
There will be some of those, and we'll try to get a schedule made on those. Of course, we kind of like the idea of having that a little bit fluid. This lake may not be anywhere near fishable on certain date. If we can schedule this thing, a month out, we've got a much better chance of getting what we want. So,
Agreed.
but we'll try to post those as soon as possible. But right now the solo series it's posted. It's going to be a fantastic schedule. We have come back to Arkansas this year. We had guys complaining about that.
Right.
The last couple of years, we've been all Oklahoma. We did that because Dardanelle dropped off.
Yeah.
And along with that, our attendance dropped way off. And we can't have that.
Right.
This series has all of the different boat monies involved, which is substantial nowadays. I mean, some of these boat companies are paying a tremendous amount of money. And they're all based on a 60 boat turnout. And with us, whenever it comes to scheduling, that's all I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at how good the lake is. I'm not looking at who wants to go where. We're not looking at any of that stuff. I mean, we've got guys that want to go to Washita, and we won't go there, and we don't go there for a reason. We don't go there because I can't get 60 boats there.
Right.
It's all about that 60 boat mark when we make that schedule. This year, we hope to get that where it belongs again. We've never had a problem. In the last 5 or 6 years, what have we averaged, Matthew? 65, 70?
70. That's a real good average of
we've,
70.
We've had tournaments that were 102,
102,
111.
111 was the biggest we had. That was a team
We've had
event.
some big events. We had a solo series at 102. I know that.
102, yeah.
Yes, but anyhow, we're trying to get back to that. Again, the weather hurt us last year. We've made some changes this year. That's the reason we've made them.
Right.
We're trying to get that number back up where it belongs. I can't stand the thought of Robert fishes this series for 5 years with me trying to win. He's got a boat that pays $8,000 if he wins one. And then he finally wins a tournament. And I have to go to Robert and say, Robert, I'm sorry, you don't get the $8,000 because I only had 45 boats here. I only had 55 boats here.
Yeah.
Man, that's hard.
Hard to say.
You bet it is.
Yes.
And for a guy that's bought that boat and has faithfully fished this series trying to win one, I've got to have that tournament on a lake that I can draw 60 plus boats to that
I
tournament.
agree. I agree.
That's the number one issue whenever we go to making a schedule.
Yeah.
Period and paragraph. That's it.
And that's when we make decisions for the HawgHunters period, is to
Yes.
try to make us look shinier than the rest of these circuits that you can jump in on
Yeah.
week in and week out.
Yeah.
And that's why we make changes
You
and
know-
we do things different.
It doesn't do any of these other series any good to go out and go through all the work. And trust me, brother, It's
It's
a lot of
work.
work.
I can't imagine.
It doesn't do them any good to go out there and go through the work and get, your White River group involved and get Skeeter involved and
Phoenix First
Phoenix
Fly.
involved, and it doesn't do any good to get there if you're not gonna get there on the number.
Yeah,
And we've got
it's a lot of wasted effort.
we've got a dozen different series around this part of the world that are all team series. We're the only solo around,
Yeah.
unless you're gonna fish a BFL or something like that. And they're drawing 30 boats at a max. And it doesn't do any good that they have the Skeeter money involved, or you have to hit that number.
You have to hit the
If you
60.
don't, and hey, it's proven, and we've proven it many times over the years. If you hit that number and they win that tournament, they are gonna pay you.
Yeah.
And they'll pay you every time.
Every time.
But they don't unless you fulfill your commitment and get the 60-plus boats at that tournament. Very important,
I'd
very,
say
very
so.
important.
So what's the response that y'all seen up to this point from just going strictly to a solo series?
A lot of good. I mean, you get it both ends. You get both of them. I mean, it's pretty 50-50 down the middle as far as, guys, I wish you'd have done this. But when we tell them the history of the Hawg Hunters and where it was established and when it was started, they go, I understand. And I said, and guys, we want to be a little different than everybody else.
Right.
And I said, and to be honest, I said, you look at the Bassmasters and all that. I said, they're a solo event.
Mm-hmm.
Bass fishing is a solo event.
Bass fishing is a solo sport, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love our team series.
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
we love team events. It's fun. And not only that, but I like the idea of having somebody on the boat with me and he can net my fish and this and that. But that's not really bass fishing. Bass fishing is an individual sport.
Yes. Decisions are made
And to
by
be
yourself.
honest, with
Yeah.
you, where I'm at, and the reason that for me personally, that I mentioned earlier, this series has been going on since 1973. I've run it for 20 years. That means there's a lot of people before me.
Right.
Okay, I'm not going to end it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm not going to be the one that ends the solo series.
So you got to evolve.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, the best thing about this for me, and Matt and I have always agreed on this, we need to be different.
Yeah.
I've got a dozen different 30-boat team tournaments out there. Let's be different. Let's be a solo series.
Right.
Let's do that. This year we've made another change that they haven't made too. We're going to go with no forward-facing sonar.
Big move.
Big move.
Big move.
Again, we're going to be different. That's what we want to do. We're going to pay a good price to win these things. We've got some good sponsorship behind us, some great sponsorship
Yeah.
behind us. Not good. We're going to make it worth your while.
Absolutely. So should you? Yeah.
And again, we're doing this. We're not. We get people talking about, oh, wait, old head this and old head that. They want to call you names, or the older guys want to say,
Yeah.
oh, you're going to use the cheater box, and I don't want to get involved in all that.
No.
Okay, that has nothing to do,
No.
nothing to do with forward-facing sonar being taken out of this series.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to be different, and we're trying to get our number up.
Yep. That's the name
Our
of the
number
game.
was as low as it got last year in many years. It's time to do it.
Yeah.
And all we're trying to do is give everybody a choice. They can use forward-facing sonar and anything out there.
Anything else?
And hey, man, if you just insist that you're going to fish with, I understand that, and it's not a problem. And maybe we're not for you.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love to see you give us a try, but maybe we're not for you.
Right. And I think
But-
there's always going to be two sides of the argument, no matter what.
Oh, well,
and you're
never
not
mind.
going to like this. The argument in itself, I don't think is going to go anywhere
No.
anytime fast.
Son, it's the most divisive thing in bass fishing for
Absolutely.
all time,
Yeah.
period, paragraph. And in my opinion, once again, we're going to be different. If everybody's got apples, we're going to offer them an orange.
orange.
Well,
Okay.
maybe we can look at it as maybe it's starting a trend.
Well,
knows?
Look at what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Okay, between the MPFL, the BASS, and MLF.
MLF. They're all
they're
they're
all
all
going
making
that way.
changes.
And in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, and I swore I wouldn't get my opinion involved here, but I think eventually it's headed in the direction that we're gonna have two different, we're gonna have a split. There's gonna be two different series, one with, one without. That's what it's gonna come
Yeah.
down to. I understand 100% anybody that has forward-facing sonar that wants to use it. I've got it on my boat. I've had it on my boat probably before any of these other guys did. I've
You
had it
had
since
it
it
at
first came out.
you had it generation 1.
Yes, sir.
When it
I came out in the beginning with it. Again, it's not about whether we like it or whether we don't like it.
Mhm.
We want to give an option.
Yep.
You gotta adapt. You gotta
Yeah,
adapt to the
yeah.
marketplace.
Nobody around here's got that option.
So let's be different.
We're going to be different.
Let's be shiny.
That's what we want to do.
And really, that's kind of been the hog hunter way.
Yeah,
I mean,
it has.
Bass for Cash,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
contingency programs.
Contingency programs, yeah.
So, again, I don't think anybody needs to look at it as, maybe not different, but maybe just following a different path to do something different with a different result.
Exactly
At
right.
at the end goal, we want to create a circuit where everybody can come in, have fun, enjoy what we do, because we work Monday through Friday, working our tails off to be able to go and do something we enjoy on Saturday, Sunday. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's why we do it.
And there's not room in this sport if we're going to do that for
Yeah.
all the arguing and
Oh,
bickering
I
and the-
100%
You know,
agree.
if we're not for them, I understand. I do, and I hate that.
Yes.
Man, I'd love to get everybody involved in it. I love this club. There's a reason I've done it for over 20 years.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. That's a lot of my life that I've spent on this.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying I'm smart, okay? It may be that I just don't have any common sense. I don't know, but I've done it for a long time, and man, I've went through it all. There's nothing out there I haven't had to deal with
Seen
at
a lot
all.
of changes.
And like you said, you mentioned it, as far as this club goes, we've always been on the front edge around here, I feel like.
Yeah.
We come up with the Bass for Cash program. We started out in the tag program.
The tag program.
Oh, I forgot
Yes,
about
that's-
that. Yeah.
that's-
We-
we
yeah.
started out at.
Yes.
Well, whenever tag went under, we won't go into that. When tag went under, we had so many guys that were so excited about this program, and I was too. It was a fantastic deal. It just ran into some trouble and didn't quite make it.
Right.
So we come up with Bass for Cash, which is our own personal, and it has been fantastic.
Been great.
It has had a great reception. It gives a guy, if he wants to spend an extra $200 for the entire season,
Comes out
Man.
to like $27.50
Yeah.
per tournament.
It-
If
it-
you look at it on a per tournament that you pay for it.
he can pay $200, and every tournament, we're gonna give away, that money is put in, all put in a pot, it's split between the 7 tournaments, and that's how much that tournament gains. And if we get somebody that joins later, that money's put in, it's resplit, and that's how much you get.
Yep, it goes
This
up.
pot's been over $2,000
Yep.
at times on that side pot.
Right.
It's fantastic.
And what I like
and
about
off
it
of that- I'm sorry.
is first place don't always win it. They
No.
was 2 times last year that it went, the lowest it went was 5th,
Yeah,
and the next one it was 3rd.
yeah.
Because if you're not in it, you don't get that pot.
That's right.
And it's
Highest
my
paid.
job up there with that microphone to go, hey, you're telling me you left $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 laying on the table because you didn't get into this?
There's
They
a-
get in it.
Yeah,
They get
yeah,
in it.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
They
say,
get in it.
They won't fish another tournament without being in it.
No.
But they sure miss it the first time.
They do.
And
And it hurts.
it's,
Yeah.
You bet it does.
Yeah.
You bet it
They don't
does.
forget it.
But it's a fantastic program that's been copied all over.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm not complaining.
No.
It's great.
It's great.
Whenever somebody imitates what you're doing,
Yeah,
you're doing something right.
absolutely.
And, we've had that sort of thing, we've done this contingency stuff with the stickers and, that's a really neat deal. And we've had that, we've already seen that in other series too, saw that some last year. I think it's great.
I agree.
It's a compliment in my opinion, whenever
Well,
somebody
yeah.
tries to copy what you're
When you
doing.
copy
And it's
what you're doing.
fantastic.
Because I mean, you're not working necessarily for the industry, you're working for the anglers. You're
Yes.
trying to provide a better platform for whatever aspirations they have.
Over the years, all we've ever told anybody is we've wanted to make something big and good for our area. Our area's never had anything really
No.
spectacular. And I feel like for years now, we've led the way on that. I feel like we've had the biggest tournaments, the biggest payouts. we have. It's, you know, it's been good.
Yeah.
Enjoyed doing it.
I can personally attest to that. You're hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. And, but that's what we want, is something good for our area. And you know what? We've made mistakes in the past. This may be a mistake this year. It may very well be. I don't know.
But we're pretty good
But,
about learning from our mistakes and making
Right.
changes and adjustments. I mean, that's just,
Yep.
that's part of it. If you don't adapt, you get left behind.
Well, we're not afraid to take a
No,
chance.
no.
You know, and if we're gonna take a chance, and we're gonna change it up, right now it's time to do it.
Yeah, somebody's
You know?
got to step up and step
Yeah.
out, right?
Yeah.
And this decision wasn't made overnight. I mean, we started talking about this in what?
Oh,
June?
Yeah.
You know?
we
earlier-
actually have been talking about this for several years.
We have, yeah. Yeah.
We couldn't figure out how to have the tournament take the forward-facing sonar out of the equation without them having to remove that transducer off that boat, because that's too much work. A guy's gonna use that transducer next weekend at another tournament.
Right.
I can't ask him to take that thing off
No.
his boat for this tournament. He has to go out and set it up all week trying to get it right again. But then we came up with this box idea. You know, we didn't come up with it. We saw it, and we're gonna duplicate that. And it's one of those things, whenever we saw what they were doing, it was like, you know, why didn't we think of this?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
Right.
but anyhow, there is a way to do it without, you know, pretty painless. And we got the man sitting right there that can sure enough do
He
it.
sure enough do it.
So now, is this gonna be something that prior to takeoff in the parking lot?
Yeah, prior to takeoff.
Let's talk about that real quick. Let's run us through a quick
Yeah.
scenario.
So first thing that morning, come to me. Do your pay if you haven't already done your pay and stuff. That's what's cool about our organization, is you can call me on the phone and we can get you all paid up before you even take off that morning.
Yeah.
All you got to do is come up, get with Robert or Joe that morning, and we'll issue you a lockbox, and we've got an ID tag that, hey, where's your transducer? Where's your where's your black box? Locate that. We'll go zip tie, or not zip tie, but ID tag it, lock it up, and then you're good to go. Put it back on the water.
Tournament's over with, we're gonna pull them back off. You
You'll have a turn in place that will turn in the locks and be good to go.
screw your transducer back in, all's good.
Yeah.
You know, or if you want to, if you don't want anybody messing with that, and you don't use that head unit for anything else, you can take the head unit off the boat, and you don't
And
even
then
have
we ain't got to worry
that.
about it.
Gotcha.
But for the guys who have multiple graphs that are all sequenced together, we have to get to that sonar, that black box.
And that's important. These guys need to help us help them by locating where their black box is at. That's
Yeah.
important.
Know where it's
We
at,
need-
and not have 100 tackle
Yeah.
boxes piled on top of it. That's what I asked for.
Needs to be accessible.
Put a life
doesn't it,
jacket, throw
Rob?
hooks in.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But they do have the option of just taking the head off, you know, taking
Right.
your graph off.
Try and make it simple, straightforward as possible.
Straightforward,
Sure.
just
Yes.
painless.
As painless as possible.
Yeah.
It's gonna work.
Absolutely.
It is. We've had a lot of interest, man.
Sure have.
Matter of fact, on the post that I made about that, okay? I made a post on that. It was shared, I forget, 42 times, something like that, which is a lot of shares. And we normally run 4,000 to 6,000 views on anything that we post on our page, which is fantastic. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a lot
it's
of
a lot of
views.
eyes.
We made that post. It was shared. We had a tournament on Black Friday, okay? The results on that tournament within 24 hours had 24,300 views.
Wow. That's a lot of reach.
Yeah.
Quickly.
That had to come from that post, okay? That had to come from that post that was talking about us doing away with the forward-facing sonar that got
Right.
shared so much. The very next tournament we have, we get 24,000 views. We've never come close to that.
No.
Who does?
Yeah.
On a local bass circuit.
Right.
That's a good sign.
Yes, sir.
And since then, we've had a lot of interest, a lot of people calling. All the people we signed up so far, for the most part,
They're new
we
members.
don't know them.
And it's
We
not
don't
just
know.
old people, it's young
No,
and old.
it's
both
young
sides
and
of
old.
it.
I mean,
Not
that's just
the
it.
old.
You got everybody just wants a little bit of a taste of something a little different, you know, and just us being just a little different.
Again, it's that option, you know, and
Yeah.
there's no doubt, there are guys out there that feel like they cannot compete with that. And we've got some boys in this bunch that are good on it. And they're right. When everything's right, boy, you can't hardly compete with.
Yeah.
No, it's tough.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
But there's people out there that don't want to go up against that, and that's what we're there for.
Right.
Just an option. You
Yeah.
know, if you don't want to fish against it, we're going to go without it this year. And
When this was kind of at the apex of the argument, and we're not going to get into argument. We're not going to dive off into that.
No.
but
No,
I,
no,
I go back to my Fort Smith Bass Club days,
Mm-hmm.
and I can hear some of those guys, you know, if you interject their opinions into this argument, and it wouldn't be nice.
No.
it's
It would not
nice.
be nice.
No,
Uh,
it gets pretty brutal out there
yes.
on the internet.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
No,
you can,
it does.
you
Yeah.
can get into all kind of arguments out there if you want to. and
You can
I'm
spend
not
you can
about
spend
that.
10
I don't-
minutes on reading a forum about it, and you go,
Yes.
"Wow, this is
Yeah.
very controversial." I
Yeah.
mean, it is.
It's bad, and we're not trying to cause that. We
No.
don't want that. We're not looking for a
No.
forward-facing sonar debate. We're
No,
not.
you're
No.
changing. You're giving anglers a choice. I mean, like what we've talked about, anglers are going to have the opportunity for a good payday,
Yeah.
close to home for a one-day event.
For a one-day event.
Simple as that, right?
Yeah. And then on our opens, you can run whatever you got. I mean, if you
Yep.
want, you can scope.
Yeah.
You cannot
Yeah,
scope.
it's-
I mean, whatever you want to choose to do. I
Yep.
mean, that tells you right there that we just wanted to be different, and that's the reason why we decided to make this move.
Right.
Yep.
To be shiny, to be attractive, for guys to jump in. Because at the end of the day, our goal is to hit the 60 mark, so that we can get these guys. It's got the Phoenixes, the Nitros, the Rangers, to get these guys the extra incentive money that they do. I mean, that's part of the reasons why they decide to buy a new boat, is because I have an opportunity to win this. And when they look on that schedule, going, well, is there anybody that I can even compete with or get close to? It's close to home. They look at HawgHunters Bass Circuit. Well, that's in Fort Smith. I know where it's at. That's right here. They're back.
And they fish our lakes.
Yeah.
You know, we're fishing the same lakes everybody else does.
Yeah.
I mean, these are our lakes in this part of the world. We have some great
this
lakes.
year at Fort Smith.
Fort
Everybody
Smith Pool
fishes
was a
that
little
one.
bit of a
That's gonna be a change.
monkey
Yes,
wrench.
it is.
But it gives guys an opportunity to go. You can go into Oklahoma, or you can go into Ozark Pool, Dardanelle. Guys will lock the Kerr. And we're based out of Fort Smith.
Well,
you know,
and we've got so many guys that have had a problem with us not going back to Dardanelle.
Yeah,
Okay, here's the deal: we can't put one Arkansas tournament on that schedule
that's right.
and expect all these Oklahoma fellas to buy a license to fish one tournament in Arkansas.
Yeah,
We felt like we had to have two. We've always looked at it that way. We've got to have two in Arkansas if we're coming to Arkansas. We were having a little trouble, you know, in the past. We put in on the Ozark Pool, having a little trouble with the ramps down there as far as parking goes. So we're going to go to Fort Smith.
Yeah.
And in this club, you're always allowed to lock.
Yep.
If they want to lock up, they can lock up. They can lock down. There have been some big tournaments out of Fort Smith Park.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know. Robert probably doesn't remember any of them.
I remember
He's young
being a
enough,
little
but
bitty kid out
you were a
there
little
a
kid.
long time
That's where
ago.
Little Robert came from. That's how I know you. It's Little Robert.
Yeah.
But anyhow, you know, we used to have the what was it?
the literacy.
The
What's it?
you had the literacy tournament, the Dennis Brown
Dennis Brown.
tournament, the
I forgot about
the
that,
Dixie
yeah.
Bell.
The Dixie Bell tournament. Yeah.
We had a lot of 100+ boat tournaments come out of Fort Smith Park back in those days, and it can be a good tournament venue.
Right.
It really can. I'm not high on the Fort Smith Park myself. I'm shipping out. I'm going through. But anyhow,
Right.
it can be a very good tournament. We've seen some really big turnouts on that pool, and we're going to try it this year. We've got to
And
have
some
some.
decent weights.
And
Yeah.
the weights
Oh,
have
yeah,
gotten better.
absolutely.
Like our Tuesday nighters last year, they
Absolutely.
pulled a pretty good
Yes.
sacks every week.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, it's that pool. You wouldn't think so, but it's actually.
It's come a long way in the last
Yeah.
5 years.
What'll really surprise you is how many big ones are in that pool.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yes, sir. Back during the days of the Big Bass Bonanza, that's how I made money every year. I fished the Fort Smith pool for 3 hours and went to Clear Creek and played the game. And I always made money doing that because I could catch a bigger fish on the Fort Smith pool.
I would know.
Yeah, I just couldn't catch. I always had trouble catching a limit.
Interesting strategy.
Yeah.
It always paid off. Always made money doing it. A buddy of
Good for
mine
you.
and myself would fish out of the same boat. Always made money doing that. But Fort Smith can be a good pool.
Yeah.
And it gives us that second Arkansas tournament that we
Yes.
needed. And again, we've tried Ouachita, we've tried Beaver. I I think we do 25 to each.
Yeah.
That just doesn't work, you know.
No, it makes it even harder. doesn't it?
Whenever we're right here on the line, and so many of our fellows are from Oklahoma, man, they really don't want to go to Ouachita. They don't want to go to Beaver. And if I had 10 Killer and Eufaula, I wouldn't want to go to Ouachita either.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyhow,
I
you know,
get you.
that's the reason for it. So
Well, guys, I thank y'all for taking time and going
Anytime.
over this. Is there anything else you need to say, or
No, books are open and ready to go. Just give us a call, get in contact with me or Joe, and we can get you signed up.
and the registration runs through?
Runs through the day, or you can pay over the phone up until the 6th.
The 6th.
Yeah, for
Pay at
the
the
10
ramp?
killer target. You can
For the
pay
target.
at the ramp, so it's got to be cash at the ramp.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cash or check, yeah.
good
Yeah.
deal. Good deal. And that's March 7th.
March
10
7th,
killer.
10 killer. Chicken Creek.
Chicken Creek.
and we expect a good turnout.
Yeah.
Now, we're really excited to get this year going, more so than any other. We
Yeah,
made some big changes, and I think it's gonna work out very well,
I think it will too.
and we are really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think after that snow, everybody kind of got a little scared,
Oh.
thinking,
Yeah.
yeah, is this going to be a month-long snow? You know,
Or is this just going to be, yeah, and it
Well,
stayed
Jason-
cold through too. And I was like, here we go.
Jason, I've seen some big March snows, brother. Let's not talk about that, okay?
well,
We-
I say that because last Saturday we were up here. We took our granddaughter out, just for a day to eat, and it seemed like wherever you went, there were people everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked, I said, "What's going on?" They're like, "We're tired of cooped up at home."
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So I mean, fishermen, they're ready. They're ready.
ready to
Oh,
go.
Yeah.
It's that time of year, brother.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. We've been, we're threatening not to work through the week anymore. We're thinking about just working our shop through the weekend and taking a couple of days off in the
There
middle
you
of
go.
That's the way it's lining up.
And we're having those 75 and 80 degree
I heard
days through
that,
the week,
yeah.
and it's time.
It's time.
Water temps coming up, son. It's getting there, and
It's
there are a
getting
lot of
there.
people excited about it. And,
Good deal.
and we're excited. I hope to get some of these guys involved in something that I think they'll really enjoy.
Right.
I've yet to have a person that has joined that had a problem with how we do things.
Yeah.
You know, everything's been nothing but compliments. You know, they like the way that
How it's
that
ran.
our weigh-ins work and everything. We try to make it as sleek,
Simple and
as
smooth
simple
as possible.
And it works out well. We've run a lot of tournaments. It's
Yeah.
Matt he's good as matter of fact, he's got other series that have him come out and do their weigh-ins for them. You know, on their
Right.
championship tournaments and stuff like
Yep.
that. He's uptown on how to run a weigh-in.
I've seen it firsthand. so
Yeah,
I
we'll
had
get 'em
some.
through.
Sir.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much again.
Thank you,
I
Jason.
appreciate it very
Jason, I
much.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
And
Yep.
we'll maybe get y'all back on here after the first tournament.
Did you want to sign up before you leave?
I gotta have a boat.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't have
That's
a boat
true,
right now.
yeah.
I sold
You
my
don't have a boat?
I sold my boat in I think the last week of October.
No, where you can buy a new one now.
Yeah.
Son, you're gonna have to get your priorities right. You hear? You're gonna need to get
yeah,
your priorities
yeah, I need
right.
to just go right across the.
That's right, I
the-
got your place right over there.
Yes, sir.
Next door.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much, and
Thank you, Jason.
we'll do this again real soon.
Sounds good.
Thank y'all.
All right, brother.